What is going on, guys? We are in the middle of the week. We are rolling through a Wednesday, and we are talking about that big Arctic blast. It is on the way. It is on the doorstep. There's the cold front. What's going on, guys? The meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you on a Wednesday night. We're coming at you live on News 6 Plus. It's a free download if you don't have it for your smart TV, and of course, on the News 6 YouTube page. Thank you a ton for being here tonight. We have a lot to get to, of course. The cold is going to impact everybody, but the trend over the last several model runs has been to add a little bit of extra moisture on a second strong front to maybe get some flakes flying across parts of the southeast and deep south. That would include parts of North Florida. Snow in Florida is always far from a slam dunk when you're trying to forecast it, but we're going to go over that and we're going to look at that coming on over the next 20 minutes or so that we are hanging out together. So we're going to talk about the Arctic invasion coming to Florida. Sounds dramatic, but it's going to be cold, and it's the Arctic air literally sliding in. We'll talk about neighborhood by neighborhood and how far below freezing that we get through the course of the next 20 minutes. So we are going to jump into it. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from. May not be able to get to all of them tonight because I want to make sure that everybody knows about the cold coming through, and I know that there is a lot of interest and that snow potential if you're tuning in from maybe the Florida Panhandle, southern Georgia, across the deep south, and whatnot. So we're going to get right into it. This is what we are waking up to on Friday morning. This would be good enough for the coldest morning that we've woken up to since Christmas morning of 2022. So Palm Coast, we're at 31. Denellen, we're at 25. Sanford, we're at 31. Melbourne, we're at 35. 29 in Leesburg. 28 in Bushnell. It is going to be frigid. These are the actual air temperatures, not the wind chill. I don't think the wind is going to be too big of a factor on Friday morning. Speaking of Friday morning, I think pipes are going to be okay. If you have sensitive plants, everybody should be covering them. You're likely, if you have the New 6 weather app, and I hope you do. If you don't, download that. And if you aren't from the greater Central Florida area, you can download that as well, and you're still going to get alerts for your location and then updates from us. You can track the tropics and stuff, although that's a word you do not want to talk about right now at all, but just want to give you that if you've not downloaded the free New 6 Weather app. If you have that, you're going to get a little buzz probably sometime the next 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4, depending upon when the National Weather Service pulls the trigger, that a freeze warning is going to be in play. And that's likely going to be for all of Central Florida. Where the potential, though, for a hard freeze. And a hard freeze is where we get to 28 degrees or colder. That's in that blue shaded color. So that's Marion County, maybe interior Volusia, Northern Lake around Astor, around Lake Catherine, down I-75 into Sumter County. That's the best opportunity for pipes that are outside and not covered up, not with that kind of that insulation stuff that you can buy at the hardware store, or taking the proper action to kind of watch it trickle a little bit in the evening and then all night to prevent the pipe from freezing. Because typically for there to be pipes or have problems with the pipes, you need to have below freezing temperatures for 6 hours or more. And most of Marion County should be into that 5 to 7 hour range of below freezing, where we bottom out in the mid 20s. Sumter County, most of Sumter County, we're into the mid to upper 20s, and we're talking 4 to 5 hours, give or take, below freezing. So we're right on the cusp. And then Sanford, Orlando, Melbourne, I think we're okay. We're in that 0 to 2 hours spent below freezing. So it is going to be cold no matter how you slice it there. So I want to kind of break this down county by county in the greater Central Florida area. So Polk County, everybody's covering their plants, all right? 30 to 34 degrees, that's what it's dipping down to. We're going to be 0 to 2 hours below freezing. Into Brevard County, really the only spot that we might not close in on that number is going to be right on the Cape. So Cape Canaveral, Merritt Island, we're probably going to stay in the upper 30s to lower 40s on Friday morning. The warmer Atlantic Ocean, relatively speaking, certainly has the influence on us. But most of Brevard County will spend 0 to 2 hours below freezing. We are in protect plant category, no doubt about it. Air temperatures drop into the low to mid 30s. The upper 30s are there just for the coast. Speaking of the coast, back up the road and 95 a little bit to Flagler County. We're talking air temperatures 28 to 32. We'll be in that 2 to 4 hour ballpark where we are going to be below freezing. Pipes should be okay. If you're a little concerned, I would err on the side of caution and do what we talked about. Run that faucet a little bit outside or the spigot, or get that insulation to put around the exterior pipes to prevent them from freezing. Again, we're on the cusp there. Osceola County, I think we're going to be okay in terms of any kind of pipes freezing, but still the opportunity for a couple of hours to be spent below freezing. There might be a few spots in the outlying areas of Osceola County that do dip into the 20s. So this is going to be quote unquote fun to watch the temperature drop tomorrow night into Friday morning to see how, in fact, cold we bottom out. Because again, it's cold. We don't normally see the air this cold. I mean, we're a couple degrees colder than where we've been so far this year, but that makes a big difference when you're talking about things freezing. Interior Volusia might want to think about making sure that their exterior pipes are insulated. We're going to get down into the upper 20s and lower 30s. That's going to put us anywhere from 1 to 4 hours below freezing, more like the 1 closer to the coast, closer to the 4, places like Orange City, Deltona, Casadega, Lake Helen, DeLand, Pearson, Astor, on either side of either Lake or Volusia County. Lake County, northern Lake County, I might want to think about protecting the pipes a little bit exterior. 2 to 4 hours below freezing. Certainly everybody, again, protecting the plants. We have those air temperatures 27 to 32. The further north you are, we're going to be more like the mid to upper 20s and then closer to the freezing mark itself in South Lake County. Same deal in Seminole. Temperature range across the county, 30 to 34. It might be able to dip into the upper 20s as well. 0 to 2 hours spent below freezing. I'm not too concerned about the pipes in Seminole County. Sumter County, I am. We just talked about that. So from the villages all the way down to Webster, Coleman, Lake Panasoffkee, Nobleton, I take care of those pipes. 27 to 31 is where we bottom out. 3 to 5 hours spent below freezing. And again, protect the exterior pipes in plants in Sumter County. Orange County, I know this is kind of repetitive, but I want to make sure that I'm getting everybody's county and your town popping up and stuff. So like Apopka, Ocoee, Winter Garden, Windermere, we're going to be closer to that 31-degree temperature, whereas the city of Orlando is going to be closer to that 35-degree temperature. So that's why there's the range there. But outlying areas certainly have the opportunity to go freezing or a notch or two below in Orange County. And then our coldest county in the greater Central Florida area, no doubt, going to be Marion. We are the winners here, 24 to 28 degrees. It is going to be really, really cold. Wind chills shaving a degree or two off of that. 4 to 6 hours below freezing. You're going to want to protect the pipes and, of course, the plants across the board. So, again, just wanted to give you that rundown going forward there. It's going to be cold. No doubt the coldest night. This is not a short-lived cold snap. I don't think we get above 70 until maybe next Thursday. So it's an extended little cold blast with reinforcing shots along the way. We're going to talk about that reinforcing shot of cold. In this one, might bring a little snow to the deep south that does include parts of Florida. We're going to talk about that. Look at the latest model data and break that down when we come back in just 3 minutes. What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you. Of course, the biggest thing in the weather world is this big round of cold that comes in during the day tomorrow. You're going to feel it and stays with us all the way really through the middle and latter stages of next week. The coldest mornings of the bunch are going to be Friday, Saturday, and then again on Monday and Tuesday. So it's going to be wild out there, and it is going to be extended. The wilder-ist part, it's not really a word, but the potential again for some snow. I don't think this matches what North Florida and the Deep South saw last year. What happened last year was unprecedented and historic. However, model guidance is now picking up that there may be enough moisture to play with some of the colder air that's coming in between two Arctic cold fronts to maybe get a little something going in the terms of some flakage across the Deep South. So I wanted to show you this model. This is our in-house model. We're going to look at some other modeling again coming up, but this is going to be early in the morning on Sunday. This is the second front now. So we get another fresh injection of some colder air and some moisture lagging behind it. There you see it right there. I love how Matthew Field says snow in Florida. Yeah, right. Do you remember last year where Pensacola got 8.8 inches of snow? Wild stuff. So again, it is certainly possible, although again, out of the ordinary. But yeah, I don't know why you would say yeah, right, when we are literally less than a year removed from a ridiculous snowstorm coming to parts of North Florida last year. So there's 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and then there it goes skirting across the northern half of Florida. Now, model guidance is going to bounce around for the next couple of days until it finds out how far south, until it figures out how far south that cold front gets before this little area of low pressure develops. If it gets a little further south, then some of this stuff closer to Lake City and Tallahassee could also be snow. If it develops a little further inland, then you're talking about maybe back towards Atlanta, the mountains of Georgia, and then Western Carolina, Western Virginia. So there's going to be some nuances to kind of figure out. However, part of Florida likely going to be dealing with a few flakes. At the very least, maybe some light accumulations of snow, although it's going to take the opportunity. It's going to take some time to get that cold to plunge down. So there you go. Snowfall 2 to 4 inches in Tallahassee. This is a model forecast. I don't think Tallahassee is getting 2 to 4 inches of snow. I'm just showing you the different models. But anyway, that's what we are looking across parts of the southeast corner and the Deep South. Again, I don't think Pensacola gets 2 to 4 inches of snow. We will see what happens. That is the European forecast. This is the GFS forecast. I'm just showing you the different nuances to show you that we do, in fact, have agreement that we are going to have some moisture meeting up with the cold here across North Florida. So don't pay attention to the numbers just yet. And then here is our in-house model that I showed you. It has that area of low pressure kind of riding northwest a little bit more. So therefore, it takes the snow, throws some flakes at the very least, and then puts the heavy stuff kind of inland right on the eastern flank there of the Appalachian Mountains through Georgia, the Carolinas, and then back up towards D.C. So a lot to iron out. However, the growing consensus is anyway that there is going to be a little bit of flakage going on. I want to show you the European ensembles. Got to go to the other weather computer for that. There is the probability. And again, just like when we talk about forecasting the tropics and tropical development and things like that, with the European ensembles, there are 51 members, okay? And each one of those members have different initial conditions put into them. And this is the mean. So out of the 51 members, 5%, that's what that purple color shows, or I guess 10 to 20% show that there are ensemble individual members suggesting greater than an inch of snow across parts of the Florida Panhandle. You see the probabilities do go up in that blue and green through Georgia and South Carolina. So it's not nothing. And it's not like we talk about social media hype a lot on this channel on our main weather channel called Just Weather. If you're interested in following that, we do a lot of weather content on there too. We talk about the misinformation and the hype and everything like that. We talked about 2 weeks ago, kind of dispelling the idea of a big snowstorm in the South on January 5th and 6th. This one's different because this one's actually lining up meteorologically as we get not one, but two injections of some fresh cold air, and there's still some lagging and trailing moisture for it to deal with, to play with. So it's going to be interesting to see how that comes together. So certainly a fascinating 96 hours of weather here across Central Florida, and all that stuff. But it is going to be cold, and it is going to be cold for quite some time. Again, the greater Central Florida area, we might push 70 on Saturday, but I don't know that we get above 70. Maybe till next Thursday in the Orlando area. It's going to be that kind of cold. Alrighty, guys, have to get my next break in. I'll be back in a few minutes. Any questions, post those in the chat. I will do my best to get to them as we kind of recap the Arctic cold that arrives tomorrow. Catch you soon. What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you. It's all right. It's a little chilly out there right now, but the big deal is that we are talking about the cold arriving about this time tomorrow, really probably around lunchtime tomorrow, but it is going to be feeling much, much colder this time tomorrow. So with 61 degrees right now in Orlando, we have the chill again sliding down, spilling down out of the Hudson Bay. So with 61 right now, I would say by this time tomorrow, we're going to be at 47. I like to play this game when we have the cold front coming through. So we're going to check that out. I'm marking 47 degrees at 9 o'clock. And we'll check that. Post it right there. I'm going to leave the note. Hopefully nobody moves that. 47 degrees at 9 o'clock. That's going to be the forecast. And then we continue to tumble from there going forward. Yeah, there's a decent shot of rain coming in tomorrow. We still have some moisture moving in off the Gulf. Let me try to bring that in the minute I have left. Let me back this train up. It's going to say Florida snow, but I'm just going to take the model back a little bit so that I can show you what is going on. This is early 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. This is our best shot for some rain before about 8, 9 o'clock. And then there we go. By lunchtime, that is over. So early in the morning, daybreak, morning commute, going to be some rain out there to contend with. But for the most part, we are looking good. Alrighty, guys, thanks so much for being here. We're going to get more in-depth in the greater Central Florida area coming up in just a couple of minutes on News 6 at 10. You know what I always say, if you're watching a News 6 Plus, there is no reason to change the channel. Maybe go get some popcorn, glass of water or something, hang out, and we'll be on in a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about the weather, of course, and then News 6 at 10 on the traditional or News 6 at 11 on the traditional cable side of things. I don't even know that we get into the 60s. I don't know that the 60s are coming across, even in Fort Myers. It's going to be that kind of cold. Alrighty, guys, I will catch you tomorrow night, really all day tomorrow. We got you guys covered here at News 6, talking about the cold coming in without the hype and without the garbage. You know the drill. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Better yet, 3 minutes away. See you soon.